Right, here we go. So we've got little bits of dust flying around from where I've just cleaned the top. You might see it. It's gone now. Okay, so welcome back to what I think is part 22. I didn't check before I went on, so it could be part 21. But I think it's part 22. Spitfire build. It's going well now. So I'll bring it over in a second. So just a couple of quick things first. I now have a Patreon account, which I'm going to be setting live very soon. If not today, you know, it's very, very soon. I'm not 100% certain how it all works, so there's going to be a lot of practice and, you know, things like that. Nothing's really going to change on the YouTube channel. You're still going to get stuff on the YouTube channel. What I may do in the future is I may run it through Patreon, some of the content through Patreon first, so it goes on there first for a bit and then it drops onto here. I really don't know yet at the moment. It's all practicing and seeing how it works and that. So please, you know, it's very new to me. I'm gonna just try and do the best I can. I've got you know, I've got very good reasons for doing it. I'm not comfortable doing it, let's just put it that way. But you know, it's something that I'm probably going to have to do if I want to carry on. But you know, nobody should feel that they need to go there. It's please don't feel that way. Anyway, so let us have a look at the Spitfire. Oh, I can't remember where we got to. Oh, we'd put the wings on and we'd clamped it. So there's a little bit of advancement because not a great deal, but we've done a little bit. So I'm going to bring the camera down now. Let me get that in a good position. So first things first, you can probably tell that I've put a little bit of filler on, and it didn't take a lot, to be honest. We've got a bit of filler running down here, which was the wing root. There's none on the other side, which is very good. You can see that there's none on that side. We put a little bit of filler in along here. And there was a little tiny bit of warpage on this back panel here. So I had to sand that down a bit. And put a little bit of filler in there. I'm probably going to have to go along with the riveter I've got, and I am going to have to, which we'll do in a minute, go along the panel lines and just remove the filler that's sort of got itself in there. Might have been easier to take that out before it had dried, but I did try on some of it, but by the time I'd done that, it was coming to the end of the night, and I just wanted to pack up for the night. So the wings are all together now, and they've gone in really well. I've got to say, I'm really impressed. I was expecting a lot of trouble because I was quite frankly told there was going to be some issues around the wings. And I think maybe because I took my time so much on this, maybe that paid off here. I don't know. Maybe I just got a lucky kit. I don't know. There's still a few glaring issues which are nothing to do with my fault or anybody else that models with this kit. It's an absolute pig's ear when it comes to the dimensions of some of the pieces. Let's take, for example, the magazines that go next to the guns here. So Airfix, when they had this so that it opened up, they designed this separate, a different one to this that you cut. So you had the ones that came with the Mark 1 Spitfire, and then if you're doing the Mark 5B, you had to use these other ones, right? And they're supposed to cover this magazine. Well, clearly the magazine is far bigger than the cover that's supposed to go over it, and no amount of sanding is going to bring that into there. I've not done nothing with it. Ideally, I think it probably needed a bigger area, some more sort of siding adding to that and to that. But by then I'd already got all this on and sort of sanded in and everything, and it's to look at like that, it's fine. It's only if you're being really picky, you're going to say, well, the cover's not going to fit that, but then I'm not going to have the cover right next to it. It's knocking about somewhere. So, you know, it's a bit, you know, can't do much with it really. So I've left that as it is. So I've just tried to do I've tried to do little bits that would have took up a lot of time, because you know, I'm aware we're on step 22 now, and it's only a Spitfire. So, but it's anyway, we're going to crack on. So the other issue was it fell off where I'd got it the other night, and the one of the lugs has broke, so I'm probably going to have to glue that in there now. I'm not going to be able to have it moving really, because the other one's bust completely. I could probably scratch build one, but I don't know. Right, so first things first, let's clean up some of these lines. I'll get the trolley over. And I've just got a trumpeter one, and we're not rescribing. We are just, well, we are in a way, we just lay it very gently in the panel line. Got to be careful. I don't want to take too much off, because every pass you make with this, it will take another shaving off. Yeah, see, that's gone quite hard, solid in there. Let's try and bring I don't know, is that a panel? Yeah, that's a panel line there. So And just very gently scrape along. Probably, I'm not really going to know how bad these panel lines are until it comes to the painting stage, and then I'll have a better idea of what needs redoing. But I can see where I can certainly see in some areas where there's filler and it needs to come out. Just here, for example. Yeah. And along the top of the wing there, just that end bit. There we go. It doesn't take much to take it out. That line actually needs rescribing because I've obviously sanded a bit off that. Let's just pop that in on the blade side. Just take that up to the there we go. How are we doing on that? That's not a panel line. Is that a panel line or is that an edge? Airfix is notorious for having deep trench-like panel lines, so I don't want to make that any worse. This one here I'm going over because, as you can see, there's obviously been some form of glue gone on it, and you can certainly feel it in the channel. It's gone now. Yeah, it's gone now. There we go, excellent. And then this little one here is it's got glue in it as well. All these little things that need to be taken care of, because once the paint goes on, for example, if I didn't do this, it wouldn't look very nice at all. The edges are okay at the moment. If you get let's see, there's a bit of glue stubborn piece there. Does not want to come out. There we go, I think I got it. Yeah. Right, good. Let's check around the wing, make sure. Got some glue there that just needs sanding off. We've got another filler in there as well. Let's take that out. Oh, chat's filled up a bit. We will have a look at that in a minute. So we're okay. One thing you can do, if you're feeling over here and your edges are all a bit scratchy and sticking up, and you can get the brush out of your tape, just remove all the glue, well, as much of the glue, and then with it damp, just wipe it along your seam line, and it will just it'll just soften those ridges off nicely for you. Just check on that there. Okay. Let me come over this side. We've got a little bit of glue there. So this is just glue from it's contactor glue that I can see. There we go. Good. Just checking there. No panel lines, but there is a lack of rivets there. I've never really done riveting before. I have got a riveter. I've never had to use it yet, but it looks as though I may have to use it now. I'm not an expert at that at all. I'm not even remotely novice. But we will learn. So if you're just starting out on doing these panel lines, I find it's best to do one tiny little section at a time, and buy yourself some dyno tape. It's the tape, obviously, that you put into those dyno tape machines, obviously, and you can stick that together and double it up. I only found out recently. I'd been using single layers, and it still kept slipping away from because you basically use it as an edge to run the blade down the side of, and it was still not sticking very well, or this tool wasn't still slipping away from it. But then I found out you can actually double up, stick one layer on top of the other. Come on, just gently. We may have to revisit these sections. Right, we're good to go. And we've got a little bit this side. And then down on the bottom. Oh, right, so we've got a little gap that's appeared at the bottom. Probably going to need to, I don't know, might get away with running some cement over that. Right, that'll do now for the panel lines. Let me get the right one out, because I've got the E3 AWACS being built at the moment as well. The cockpit was just fallen off the top there that I was building that last night. I don't know if you can see there. Yeah. Ooh, let me put it that way. You can see the cockpit, the front panel then. It's very basic. If it will, there we go. Very basic, but it's a huge plane with a tiny cockpit. Right, so where did we get to? We put them rear wings on, and so we're now looking at putting the exhausts together and maybe dry fitting the panels. So let's remove all this for the moment, very carefully. Doesn't matter if it takes any paint off. I'm going to go over this again anyway. Right. So good, the engine's pretty much stayed intact. Just needs some touching up here and there. Now then, this is another area where I'm told there could be issues. So we need to get our panels out and just see how it goes together. Let me just have a quick look over in chat. So there's been a few come in. I didn't. So Mark's in, Rob's in, Jared's in. Hi all. Paul Shapland's in, but he's got to do school run. John's in. Is it John? GB's Model Zone. I'm sure it's John. Jared, I know you said you like to build all types of models, but do you have a favourite genre? Ooh. You know, I don't. I don't have a favourite genre. I just like modelling. So at the moment, I've got the astronaut sat down there. I've got my Mola 1 build going on there. I've got this aeroplane here, another aeroplane down there. Figures. I like doing figures. So not really a favourite. I haven't even got a favourite type of aircraft. I just like doing anything really. I tend to stay away from, as a rule, stuff that people do all the time. Because I like to do something that's a little bit different if I can. I mean, I know that's not always possible because there's like all the kits out there. Everybody's done them all at some point. I'll do the general stuff, and then every now and then something really strange will come along, and I think, wow, I like the look of that. And if I can, I'll get it. Yeah, no real special. Paul's in from ISM. Jared, international focus. Not sure what that means. Nice quattro, by the way. I was on about a car Paul's built. Everybody's saying hi. Hi, Vamp. You're right, Vampy. How you doing? No, tempted to have a go at one myself, like the car and the colour scheme too. I haven't really been keeping up with the car, so I'm not too sure what they're on about. But there's 4 other schemes due out, and a Pikes Peak 3D conversion too, if that helps anyone. Hi Vamp, how's tricks, mate? Scale model Vamp, haha, she's asleep. I don't know what that's about either. Wow, I'm really out of the loop on some of this. So yeah, just lots of Lots of toing and froing, people asking stuff. John puts his work up on the dungeon, Jared says. Should have my Mark 5 Spit finished by the weekend. GB's Model Zone. Tricks is a slang for how's the woman of the night doing, or how are you? All right. I'll say no more on that. I'll not get involved in that. So let's have a look how these go. So I've been told to expect the worst for this. I'm not looking for a superb fit at this stage. I just looking for somewhere near, because there's I haven't cleaned these down yet properly. Yeah, we've got a bit of nothing earth-shatteringly bad at the moment, but it's, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a fit issue there. I can see that already. I'm told the top is the worst part because the engine gets in the way or something. I don't know. We'll maybe okay. I think as they're going to be removable covers, I need to decide. All right, let's. Yeah, there's quite a bit of flash and that on here, so let's get that removed first. And then we've got a bit more there. A little bit careful with this one because there's a pin right on the edge. There's a very strong chance though, with this kit, the one thing I've found is a lot of these pins I've had to cut off to get a better fit, because for some reason they're just not lining up very well at all. So right, that's that one. That's good enough. So if the engine one does sit a little bit high, I have got an option there just to chop them two little lugs out, because they will certainly be in the way if it is sitting too high. But obviously I don't want to start cutting pieces off unless I'm absolutely certain. Right. Now let us. I've got a few little holes there that I'm going to just open up a little bit. There we go. They're just a little bit too small for the pins. It won't hurt them. And some of them may not even be used, but I'm just going to run the drill through them quickly anyway. Right, that engine has moved since it was fitted, I can see that, which may cause a problem with the exhaust stacks going in. Which is not going to be brilliant. I'll show you that in a second. Let me just... Let me just run that through. There we go. You can see on the side, the engine has lifted up slightly from when it was put in. It's just gone slightly out. I don't know whether it's dropped back a bit as well. I don't know if you remember, but it was a bit of a pig to put in the engine. It struggled with it somewhat, and I was relieved to get it in, so I'm very reluctant to start messing about with it. Let me just pop these in now. Just put that on its side so that everyone can see. Right, so we've got so if we use the pin, if we pop these in the location holes that they've suggested, so that's that one there. Yeah, it's not going to, they're not really going to do that. They don't want to play ball, so looks like some of them or all of them are going to have to come off. Right, but it does run along that bar quite nicely. So if we can then the engine on this isn't that fantastic to look at anyway. So it might be I might be better off just covering that up. I need some tape. Where have I put the tape? Bear with me a second while I find the tape. Get that out of the way. Right. Not too worried about how tacky this is at the moment because there's no at the moment. I just want to get it roughly in place. Do the fine tuning later, of which there will be some. get that in there for now.
Here is all the contact information for Ryan Adams.
Sorry about that. The woman in my watch is a pain in the arse. Okay, yeah, that's going to be a problem there as well. Right, I need the little needle file set out for that. There's a little ridge just on here, which shouldn't be there. It's obviously from where the glue's gone together, but it's preventing the cowling from going on. Right, so there's a couple of issues there before I can even dry fit that. That needs to come off. Right, now they're issues that are going to take me more than a few minutes to sort out. So I am going to crack on with the next bit. I'll do that off camera. I'll just show you what all I'm going to do on this is get a needle file and sand down that little notch there. I'm then gonna, there's a little bit of filler sitting in that recess there, which is preventing the cowling from seating. I'm going to clean that off. I'm also going to sand very carefully the fillers sort of collected around this half-formed pin hole here. So I'm going to remove that so that that's not in the way. We've got a broken part of the cradle here, which is an issue. This might be why the engine's moved position. I need to look at that. That's going to be a bit of a pain. It's going to be a tweezers and 3 pairs of hands. So I'm going to do all that off camera because quite frankly that's just going to be really boring to watch. Now instead of that, we can have the ultimate excitement of watching exhaust parts being glued together. Wow. How totally mind-blowing is that? So we're going from 136 down, 135, 135, 138. No, they're not in order. Right, okay. Oh, I just need to take these off. And because I've got the display nippers, they actually come off. They're going to require hardly any cleanup. Sometimes if I'm really careful about the cut, I can get away with no cleanup. It's just trying to keep them in the same order that I'm cutting them off the sprue. That way I won't lose their numbering. More advanced builders won't need to bother doing that. They can just literally cut them off and glue them together. But if you're not, and you don't want to be taking them off one at a time to glue them, then just find yourself a sheet of paper, put it out of the way, orientate the sprue. So like I've orientated the sprue so that it's like that. And then what I do is, because I've got this kitchen tile that I use, I can just put 145 there so I know that that's the start and they're going that way. And then just here so that I know where I am, that's the bottom of the sprue. So that if I forget, I can come in, I can see it's the bottom right hand corner, and I orientate that the same, and then I know where I am. And I can do that with, you could do that with the whole sprue if you needed to. You could move these down, as long as this was out of the way and somewhere safe, you could orientate it and then have everything laid out. It's just something that I've found. I love having this kitchen tile like this because I use it constantly for scribbling notes on. I use it to draw little diagrams on. When I'm trying to explain something to somebody, I use it. It's just got so many uses. And then when I've finished, I come along and just rub it all off. The only trouble is it's brutal on your knife, on your hobby knife, on the blade. It blunts them very, very quickly. So where possible, I try and cut when I'm using the knife. I try and cut on the mat. Right, let's pop that there for a minute because I'm going to need that just a second. So we've got 146 and 145. That was 145. We've got 146, which is in the box. That was one that came off the sprue right at the beginning. If I can find it, there it is. Right, we're at 43 minutes. Trying to keep these down to about an hour if I can. I know there's a lot of people don't like these long. Right, so let me just pop that on there and that one on there. Let me just see that that's not okay. put some around that little. That's that one. So I think they're going down, yeah, 144, 143. So they're just going down like that. I'm going to change from that quick dry. I'm going to come in with Mr. Cement Deluxe. Apologies for the phone. Right. There we go. That's a lot better. Love this stuff, this Mr. Deluxe. I just find it's just a little bit more strength to it. It just a little bit more. It's quicker to take. Maybe that's just me, but oops. And these, now then, the question is, am I going to weather these before they go on, or am I going to put them on first? I've got a funny feeling I'm expecting there to be a problem purely because of that engine. I've got a nasty feeling that that's not going to go too well. Well, it had to happen soon. Oh, nearly, almost. Hold on a minute, that's not going on right. That's why I've got it on backwards. There we go. That went a lot better once I changed the glue. Let's move that out of the way. Don't forget already, if you haven't already got your Russian build started, you've still got plenty of time. It's not closing till the end of January, January 30th, 2019. You could win yourself a pair of display single-edged nippers that comes with the pouch, the box, the tool for the adjustment, and of course the nippers themselves. Not funded by anyone else but me. I bought the nippers. I bought a set when I bought mine, and the winner of that build will win a pair of those. So it's anything Russian: car, boat, ship, jet, biplane, absolutely anything Russian. Farmer on his farm vehicle, you name it, as long as it's Russian. Feel free to enter. You need a picture of yourself with the kit. Just put it in the album on this page, and no need for a build diary. Build diary would be nice, or some photos as you go along, but it will be based on your build and not any written works or photography. So, with that said, we're coming up to 50 minutes. What are we going to do? Let me see. I've got a couple more bits to do there, Right, yeah, I'll just quickly, this was another thing that got done off screen. This is the stand for the Spitfire, and the more astute of you will notice that it has battery compartments at the bottom. So if you want to light this up, there's also a spot, there's a little hole in there for you to run your wires down and put your batteries in here, and you even room for a switch, I believe, if you want. This is just comes as three parts. This is the bottom piece, and then you've got these two pieces here that make up the stand. So what I intend to do with this is I shall prime it, and then I shall use Life Colors light brown wood on the surface, and then I shall go over with some oils to try and make simulate some grain, and then I will be going over with maybe some umber ink and or some clear red. There'll definitely be some clear red involved. Now that I am hoping to do live, because I realise I haven't done much painting live, so I am hoping to do that live. That may be over a couple of days, obviously, because of paint drying and things like that. But we'll see. The other thing that needs doing on a Mark 1A Spitfire and the Mark 5B, the propellers that come with it have little holes in the top. They're like EPM marks, but they're quite deep near the top. So I had to put a bit of plastic filler in and just let that go off, and then sand it nice and flat the following day, which was yesterday, I believe, and they're good to go. Now I have got a video that I've done for somebody else of me doing the same, the other set of propellers that come with this kit. So I suppose I could release that if people want to see how I've done that, but I don't really think it's, we'll see. So that's that. Let's go over to the chat now, just quickly before I start packing everything up. Well, so right, where did I get to? No, the canopy for the AWACS, no, I'm still waiting to hear from Hella. They're just completely ignorant. I've got nothing from them at all, no acknowledgement that an email has been sent, and I am still waiting. So that's the situation on that. It was so hot here 2 days ago, I took a frozen chicken out of the freezer. I don't want to read anymore. Now it's overcast with thunderstorms. Well, yeah, you know, you can't have it all. It's frigging cold here in the USA. Seems we're getting an early winter. It's starting to look, Mark. Look, right, look good, thanks. Nature's on some strong LSD, I think, this year. It is getting worse every year. The weather seems to get crazier and crazier. Jared B got 10 inches of snow last Friday. Where are you, Jared? Gotta go. Have a good one, dudes. Spit's looking. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks, Jared. Linda, it's about time I caught your show. Heidi, Mark and Angela, I'm getting ready for work. Thanks, Lynn. Thank you. And then we've got a message held for reviews. I don't know what that is, but I will. Right, so John, I think it's John, is saying the problem with that kit's engine is it's slightly... Oh, this is the message that's held for review. I'll show this. This is ridiculous. I don't know why it's held this one back. Sorry, John, I don't know what the problem with that is. Problem with the kit's engine is it's slightly overscale. Swap the Spit engine for the one out of the Hurricane and blow me perfect fit. And the cowlings for the Spit fit better too. Oh, I haven't got that kit, but that's interesting, that. Vampy Jared, Love 3. Right. Lynn, hi, John. Scale model vamp, no Kazusks, no engine running. All right. Lynn Dipple's got a run. Try Airfix for a canopy, same kit. Okay. And another weather update from Scale Model Vamp. So there we go. But you know, another 50 minutes gone, and we haven't really made much more advancement. Yeah, so need to sort of figure a way past this. What I need to do is sit down and look at the kit and the fittings before I do the show, before I do the live thing, because otherwise we're just wasting time looking over stuff. Painting's going to be the real issue. You know, I'm looking at that engine and I'm very tempted to just close that in. I've spent all this time planning on having it open, but it just doesn't look that great, in all honesty. So I could close that close these cowlings and have them just sort of have the wing open, just as a showing off the weaponry. Or maybe if I close up this bad side, because one side's actually less interesting than the other. Close that up and then have the top off, because the top, yeah, looking down, that could be, you know, at least you're seeing something. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So, emailed them. Oh, this is interesting. So Mark is saying, I got replacement parts from Hella. Emailed them. Did not hear nothing. Part just turned up weeks later. Well, that's interesting. You're getting there at least, Mark. You will finish it. Pop the rocker covers. Pop the rocker covers off. Glue the cowlings on. Pop the rocker covers off. Glue the cowlings on. All right. Yeah, I'll have a look into that. You think they're going to be in the way? It's this silly, I do not like this silly brace that they have the engine in. It's does not work very well at all. Anyway, I don't want to keep showing you boring stuff. So until next time then. Next time we're going to crack on and we're going to try and get a lot more done. at least the next time I come on, I hope to get these canopies on, and maybe even we'll get this masking done on this one, get the underside. We've got some intakes to go in on there, and we'll look at doing them next time. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you all. Some of you I'll see in the week. Some of you I will see on our Hangouts. Don't forget, they run every night. There, you know, if you're a member of the Sprue Surgery Waiting Room, anyone can come in. They get posted up virtually every night, and you can come in and sit and chat with us. There's sometimes it's just me, sometimes there's 3 or 4 of us, and it's a good laugh. So if you feel, you know, fed up one night, you got nothing to do, pop in and say hello. Anyway, bye for now.